Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We are back, and I am joined by Annie Baker Atwood. Annie, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to talk to you because why don't you tell people what you do over there at Red Boots Reiki, please.
Yes. So Red Boots Reiki is your one stop to become refreshed, and I relax you by using my hands, and you end up generally asleep within 7 minutes. I've been counting. And I'm able to tune up your energetics and really, really give you some great battery power. And so it's kind of like going on a road trip with a full tank of gas.
That's cool. When you say energize,
Yeah.
what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Inside of you, there are all kinds of little energy batteries. So similar that we see on our cell phone, and everybody freaks out when it gets to 20%. Those little things, they're all inside of you. And so my job is just being the cord to charge you up. It doesn't come from me. I'm not a battery. I am simply that charging cord. And as I rest my hands over your energetic, I don't actually touch you. All of those little battery cells go, ooh, yay, time to go recharge. And I call it getting an energy drink. It kind of reminds me of the koi fish coming up when they see somebody. And once you're part of my Wi-Fi system, even if I'm not actively working on you, you're still recharging.
Okay, cool. Now you're in Connecticut, but you could help anybody all over
I
the world,
can do
right?
it all year round. I actually moved to Maine, and so now I am broadcasting out of my house in Blue Hill, Maine. And I have my studio here. But yes, and you actually don't even need to be there, which is really interesting. And people find that one hard to believe. And I explain it that I don't need to be in your car to read the owner's manual. I can access your energetics anywhere.
Gotcha. How did you get into Reiki? How did that happen?
I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I had ever heard of, that you could, heal without touching. And I'd always been told that I have healing hands. When you start dating in your 50s and you're around athletic men, somebody always has an injury. And so I'd say, oh, I have healing hands. May I touch you? And, they would always say, sure. And I would put my hands on whatever it was, a lot of elbows, knees, ankles. And they'd say, oh my gosh, your hands are so warm. I feel better. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I should discover this. And I kept hearing this word Reiki. I'm like, that's ridiculous, as my kids say. And anytime I take a really hard stand on anything, I go and I research it. And so I said, well, I'm going to sign up for a class. The worst thing that I've done is, gone through some hours. So I walked in, and it was a language that I didn't know existed. And I was completely fluent in this language. It was incredible.
Wow.
And so that was one weekend. The next weekend was Reiki 2. And after Reiki 2, I started my own business, which I don't know how to do that, but sure, I'll try. And so that was Halloween in 2018. And I just started because I said, well, I know I don't have my Reiki master yet, but you don't have to be a full-fledged doctor to put on a Band-Aid.
Okay.
And so I had a lot of clients. And I'm a big time sailor. And so many of my sailing community, because it was me, said, sure, you can come and practice on me. And I would show up in my little car with my little table. I'd pull out my table. And generally, the response was, I was really skeptical, but this stuff works.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of repeat customers. I counted up how many customers I had at one point, and I think it was 85. And of the 85, not all at the same time, because you only need to come once a month or so. But of the 85, over 60 were repeat.
That's great.
Yeah. And so that makes me feel really good that I have a skill that helps people relax. And it's also interesting that 80% of my customers are men
Hmm.
because for a bunch of reasons. One, um, I am never going to tell you what to eat or not to eat. That's none, that's none of my business. If you want to go out and do whatever after the session, you go.
Mhm.
Two, I am pretty mainstream looking. And so I don't have, um, the flowy patchouli oil vibe. I'm a preppy sailor. That's what I do. And so they know me
Mhm.
and they feel very comfortable relaxing. And so when I do a session, um, they lie down on my table, which has, a flannel blanket on it and a nice, beautiful organic, pillowcase. And they just lie down. And because you stay perfectly dressed the whole time, it's very fast.
Mhm.
You just come in and you lie down and we get started. There isn't a huge intake because I'm going to figure out maybe more than what your body needs.
Mhm. And
And so,
how do you know what area to work on, and what do you feel personally? Do you, your hands? I've heard they get.
yeah, it feels like there's a conversation between the two hands. And so there's different rhythms. So if I am hovering over a part that has a higher energy need, it's like drinking from a water fountain, when you're really thirsty.
Yeah.
And then as your thirst slakes, you slow down.
Okay.
And so that's what I'll feel is, a lot of energy. It's kind of like putting your hand on a hairbrush, that feeling.
Yeah.
And then once everything has energized, it slows down. And then I know I can go to the next position.
I see.
And as I said, for the most part, the people that I work with are very athletic. And so they are able to roll over so I can work on their back. But it's not necessary. Some of my, um, more fragile uh, customers, clients,
Hmm.
I just fluff them up with pillows and they just, sit back, especially women who are recovering from any breast cancer treatments. They don't want to lie on their stomach.
Got it.
And so they just, we flump them up and they just lie back and I can work my magic.
I got it. Now, how do you if you're doing a virtual session, say if someone's in Ohio and you're working on them, and you say you hover with your hands, do you use I think they call it a proxy or something? It's like
Yeah,
something to
yeah, I
take the
do.
place of? Can you tell
It's,
me about it?
yeah. Can I just go get it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So
Hold
guys,
on.
we're talking to Annie Baker Atwood, and Annie is someone who is an expert in Reiki, and this is what she's bringing us. Okay, what do you got?
I have my USA bear
Okay.
and my more, it's just one of the models that you would use to sketch. So the reason I have my USA bear is I just hold the bear and then you can see where my hands are. The first thing I would do is establish a connection with the person. And we do that by holding your left hand up and your right hand down. And you'll start to feel the energy go through. Do you feel it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah, people don't believe this part, but
that's
it's
pretty
really
cool.
true. Yeah. And so now we're connected. You can put your hands back
Okay,
down,
all right.
but now we're connected. And so I just use the prop to show you, where my hands are on your body. And then it's just a visual.
Uh-huh.
If you have um, some pathways that need extra boost, I give you homework and I tell you, okay, um, if for a frozen shoulder, you need to put one hand around your wrist and then the other hand on, just right on your collarbone
I see.
to do that.
Okay.
And that part's easy to show if I'm sitting down, but there's some where you're going to need to do some footwork. And so that's why I have my more,
Wow.
austere
So
because
interesting how you
I
do
can
this.
bend it. Yeah. And say, okay, you need to have your hand on your knee this way. There's, in addition to the chakras, which are the energy centers, there's also meridians. And so if you think of the chakras as the Jersey Turnpike, say, they're going down one way and down the other way, and you can hop in and gas up and then you get back on there. The
Mhm.
meridians are the secondary roads. And so they're going to be a little more specific. And the meridians are also what acupuncture uses. So the
Oh.
acupuncture points, we also use those, but it doesn't need to be as precise because I'm not poking anything into you. But knowing the meridians helps see what might be blocked.
I see.
And knowing the meridians, your heart and your lungs are opposite meridians. And so when you wash your hands, and I did a segment on this before COVID, check that out. You always want to make sure that you wash around your wrists because so many meridians are living here. And so by stimulating them and just making sure that they're running properly helps enormously.
Wow. That's definitely a great point. I haven't heard that before. But um, can you tell me about the lower um the lower set of
Of
energy
chakras.
of the
Yes.
chakras and
Yes.
what's that included in and what you can do with that with your services?
Yeah. So with generally we say we have 7 chakras,
Yeah.
and the root chakra is kind of in between your pelvic bones. And so
Okay.
you have your root chakra, and you would put your hand on your root chakra and you would say, I am fully present. And the reason that that is so important for business and athletes is what Csikszentmihalyi called flow. So if you are fully present, you're on your top game. You are on your top game. And that is brings such joy into everything you do. And if you are operating your business through joy, people want to be with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you are an athlete, especially um, with sailing, if you have a bad tack, and all of a sudden you're like,
Mhm.
as long as you can reintegrate, drop down into that chakra, and just by putting your hand right across your hips and saying, I am fully present, boom, drops you right back in and gets you back into your game. Because the worst thing about a mess up is then you start thinking, oh man, I shouldn't have done that, and it gets in your head. And you don't want that.
Right, right.
You
And
want to go
is
right back into it.
is that the lowest
Yep.
chakra
Yep. That's the root chakra.
that's the root? Okay.
Yep. That's the
And,
root chakra. And can
okay.
I just show what I visualize chakras as?
Please.
It's like a little ornament with Lego in it. So energy never goes away. It just gets broken down and rebuilt, just like Legos. It can go through the wash. They can be on the floor to get stepped on. But a chakra is just a round ball of energy holding energetics that you use to build for your whatever it is for you. And my job is to clean them. And so I have to clean the outside of it and the inside of it, which I do just while you're relaxing. And you can clean your own chakras and charge them up. You don't need me to do that. But same as you brush your teeth every day, but you still go to the dentist, you come to me to get the deeper cleaning. Because
and how often do people go? I think you said before, sometimes people go once a month.
It's usually once a month. If somebody is going through surgery, they'll come, every other week, or they'll ask for remote Reiki.
Okay.
And when I was in Connecticut, I had an hour-long drive to work in the morning, and I would do my remote Reiki then.
Wow.
And just send it out, and then everybody would start their day just completely refreshed.
Nice. Annie, you know what I heard? I heard that they're putting one of I say you people, they're putting a Reiki expert in hospitals to help
Yes.
with pre and post operations. So this is a real thing. I mean, I've seen it work. I know that it works. But
And
it's pretty
I
amazing.
want to hit the elite athletes because on the U.S. Olympic team, they have so much support for their sailors, but they don't have a Reiki expert yet.
Wow.
And so not yet, but having the ability to clear someone's headspace is invaluable. And the other thing is, when you are working in your headspace, when I'm working in your headspace, I can embed, the perfect move. I can put that language into your head. And we all know, language first and then action. So if you've visualized the perfect run or the perfect roll tack, whatever it is, I can put that visualization into your psyche without you knowing it. I mean, of course, with your permission.
Yeah.
But then your body follows
Okay.
what you're doing. And so difficult conversations, if you're in business and something really isn't working out, if you have that script in your head and you go with your heart chakra, which is I choose joy, which means you are neither superior nor inferior to anyone. And your throat chakra, I speak kindly to myself and others. All of the conversations just shift to what is the outcome that we want?
Okay.
So I skipped a few, but in your, just underneath your belly button,
Okay.
that you want to say, I use all my senses. And when you tap in to what kind of air are you breathing in? What are you feeling? How is your mouth tasting? What are you hearing? How are you soothing yourself? Is it visual? Is it auditory? What kind of feelings are you feeling? That calms your nervous system right down. And then you have your solar plexus, which I call your gut chakra, because I had this whole conversation with my son. He's like, well, where's your lunar plexus, Mom? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going to call it the gut chakra.
Okay.
But the gut chakra is I trust my gut. And we all get that gut feeling.
Yeah, totally. That it's intuition, right?
Yeah, it's your intuition. And for all of our cuties who are starting college, that is the one that is going to be the most depleted because you are meeting so many new people and you're connecting with them with your gut. And so I always find it fascinating when the teens come home from school, at Thanksgiving, that's what's depleted because they've just been checking in so many times.
Mm-hmm.
So for all of the people who are starting, you just put your hand right underneath your rib cage and you say, I trust my gut.
Okay.
And that's how you calm and recharge that for yourself. You're always welcome to work on your own system because you're inside your energy skin. Some people call an energy skin the aura, but I just call it an
Oh,
energy
okay.
skin, just like you have your physical skin and you wash it off in the shower, you have your aura, your energy skin.
Can
And
you see can you see everyone's aura? Can you is
I
this you
feel it
can
more
see?
than
Oh, you
see it.
feel it. Okay.
Yeah, I feel it. And some people see it,
Okay.
but I just feel it.
Hmm.
Um, and so I use a tuning fork and
How do you use that? What do you do with that?
I have a crystal and and it's pretty high pitched, but, and then you just go all, about an inch from your physical. And it's just a very quick way of cleaning. When when I was in my classroom, I just retired from teaching, but when I was in my classroom, other teachers would come in and stand like this, clear me, clear me.
That must have something to do with vibration, right?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
just like a sonic toothbrush. It just jiggles off any ick that's,
uh-huh.
clinging to you
Uh-huh.
because um, people give off an energetic heartbeat. And if it's what we call lower vibration, it's stickier. And so it will stick to you. And you want to get rid of that
Okay.
because that's kind of like trying to walk through water. Doesn't work. You want to swim.
Uh-huh.
And so, and people don't often always realize the energetic vibration that they're giving off. So, um, if somebody's feeling anxious or depressed, even if they can't tell because they're medicated and the medications are working perfectly, the vibration is still of the lower, and you want to clear it for everybody and
Wow.
just send those Lego bits right back down to the ground and say, come back when you've built something really, really fun. Uh, and
Right.
so I happen to have a very high vibrational, energetic. Um, and so people love to be near me because they feel just calmer.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that's all energy you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a very happy, cheerful person, but
Right.
my energy, because I have a very good energetic hygiene program, and every morning before I wake up, or not before I wake up, kind of while I'm still in
Right.
bed,
Right. Right.
I charge my own chakras.
Okay. So it's kind of like you do like self Reiki
Hmm. Yeah.
before you start your day. I understand. Hey,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure to we're out of time here, but it's been a pleasure to learn from you and to meet you and to be around you. I see why that vibration is very high. You're very easy to talk to and a pleasure to be around. So I'm
Yeah.
better for meeting you, and I'm glad that you came on today. But let me give you the last word. Anything you want to say to the audience, and then let us know how we get a hold of you.
Yes, so I'm getting my website redone as we speak. So you can find me redbootsreiki.com, and the phone number and the email are there. Please reach out with questions, especially if it's something really specific. You can soon be able to book online. I'm starting a new program called Wakey Reiki, which is going to be 6 a.m. to 6:30. You don't even need to be on camera. I'll be on camera each week to charge you up, um, just as a great way to start your day. So similar how I Reiki myself, I will do that for you. Wakey Reiki.
That sounds great. What a pleasure, guys. You've been listening and watching the Annie Baker Atwood show, and can't wait to hear what you have to say next. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back, everybody.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.